The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
Similar Maisa from the Parshas Yosef brought down the name of the Ger Rebbe in the end of Parshas Shmos. There was a city that was experiencing tremendous amount of tzoros. And there was a tzaddik in that city who was on his deathbed. And the Rav of the city went to this tzaddik, and this tzaddik was known to have a tremendous koach hatfilah. Whenever he davened, whatever he davened for was mekuyim right away. So the Rav of the city said, Tzaddikim, Gedolim b'misosim Yosef Mechayeyah, you had such a koach during your lifetime of tefillah. Imagine what it's going to be like after you leave this world. So I want you to promise me, the first thing you do in the next world is to go lifnei kisei hakavod and beg the Ribono Shel Olam to take away the tzara from this city. And the tzaddik promised, and he was nifter. And a week went by, and the tzara got worse. And 2 weeks, the tzara got even worse. And finally, the tzaddik appeared to this Rav in a dream after 2 weeks. And he said to the Rav, you probably are very, very much wondering why I didn't keep my word. And why I didn't go b'fnei kisei hakavod and beg that tzara should go away from the city. But you should know, he said, from where I am now, it's not a tzara that's happening to the city. It's the best thing that could be. I can't daven that good things go away. You see it as a tzara, you daven. I can't. If that's the case, and everything I told you was true, then why do we daven? Why do we daven? The tzara should go away. If we believe they're not tzaras, it's only because we don't see it, because we're limited by time. But if they're really not tzaras, then why do we daven? Person Rahman al-Islam is sick, comes to the Ribono Shel Olam, Rifa'einu Hashem v'nei rafei. Why doesn't the Ribono Shel Olam turn around and say, I know you're sick, I made you sick, and I don't do anything that's not good, so you must really need to be sick. So what are you davening to me? I should take something good away from you, because you don't understand. Why would the Ribono Shel Olam want to listen to us? Imagine, doctor comes and examines a patient in the hospital. He says the patient needs a painful operation, but he's sure the patient will live another 50 happy, healthy years if he has the operation. And if he doesn't have the operation, he'll die in 2 hours for sure. Black and white. Operation, 50 happy, healthy years. No operation, 2 hours out of this world. I made up the marshal. I can make it up any way I want. Those are the two options. And the patient looks up at the doctor and says, Doctor, I don't like pain. It hurts. Please don't give me the operation. If you were the doctor, would you listen to them? They pleaded with you. You know that the operation is good for them. You know that they don't understand. You know that in 20 years they'll give you a tremendous sheva for giving them the operation. So why would the doctor want to listen to the patient? And if the patient really understood, why would you want to beg the doctor to do something different? So why do we daven? The answer is the marshal's not a good marshal. The marshal should be the following. Doctor examines the patient. Patient needs a painful operation. The operation will give them 50 happy, healthy years. Without the operation, they're going to die. However, the doctor says, the only reason that the patient needs the operation is because their body is very, very weak. And because the body is so weak, the medicine that the doctor has, some bitter medicine, that could do the same thing as the operation, but the body's too weak to be able to integrate that medicine. If this person could just be a little bit stronger, then the bitter medicine can take the place of the operation. Not only that, if the patient could be even stronger than that, I have some sweet medicine that could do the same thing. But according to the matzav that this patient is in, needs the operation, the other things won't help. Doctor goes out to prepare for the operation, and the patient begins to exercise in the bed. Pull-ups, push-ups. Doctor comes back in an hour, and he examines the patient again, and he sees the body is much stronger. He says, fine, I don't have to give you the operation anymore. Now I can give you the bitter medicine. And he says, wait, doctor, come back in another hour. I'll do some more exercise and give me the sweet medicine. On Rosh Hashanah, we wish each other a Shana Tova Umasuka. Every year is good. The worst tragedies are good, but they're not sweet. Sometimes because of our matzav, we need the good to happen in a very bitter way. And if we change our matzav, Rav Shamshon Raphael says one concept of tefillah, it's not the only one, but it's one concept of tefillah. Lehispalel is hispael, it's reflexive. We're not changing HaKadosh Baruch Hu's mind by davening. We're changing ourselves. A person who davens, who shows that he's a maimin b'Hashem, he turns to the Rabbanu Shalom, it changes him. Sometimes more, sometimes less. Depends how much kavanah you have when you daven. Depends how much exercise you do. Some people say that's why we shuckle when we daven. Spiritual exercise. It means mechazik yourself, mechazik your neshama, you're a different person. So a different person, now the tov that had to come through the tzara can now happen in a way that's sweet. So when we daven, we change our matzav. And tefillah has a tremendous koach to be able to change a person's entire being. And what's good for him now may not have to happen in the bitter way, could happen in a sweet way. There's only one problem with that. Imagine again, you're standing there by the bed of this poor sick person who the doctor says that it's a shame that their body is so weak because under the circumstances they need a painful operation. But if their body could just be stronger, if they could exercise a little bit, then maybe they could get by with bitter or sweet medicine. And you're standing there, and this is your best friend. And you say, doctor, this person is almost dead. He can't exercise anything. But I'm his best friend. And I promise you, I'm going to go home now, and for the next hour, I'm exercising for him. So don't give him the operation. Just give him the bitter or sweet medicine. I'll exercise for him. Put his name on the wall. I'm exercising the shame. Obvious question is, if that's how tefillah works, how do you daven for somebody else? How do you exercise for someone else? One Pashat Teretz, which will suffice for now. When I was a youngster, I could not take pills. I gagged on them. So my parents had to dissolve it. If I had to take a pill, dissolve it in my milk or chop it up in my cereal. I had a son. Today, Baruch Hashem, I can take 7, 8 pills at a time, no problem. Every day. I have a son, when he was about 5 years old, also had the same problem. But then medicine had advanced, and they made a lot of medicines in liquid form. So most of the time it wasn't a problem for him. One time he had an infection on his toe, and the doctor said there is no antibiotic for this infection that is in liquid form, and you can't dilute the antibiotic. It comes in pill form, a big pill, and you have to take it the way it is. So I told my son, Shlomi, we always try to give you the medicine in liquid form. Here the doctor said you can't do it. You're going to have to take this pill. And if you can't take it, I'm going to sit on you, open your mouth, and your mother's going to throw the pill down your throat. He said, Tati, this is ridiculous. My toe is infected. Why are you chapping my mouth? Put the pill on my toe. Good question for a 5-year-old. What's the answer? It's not your toe in your mouth, it's you. What goes into your mouth affects your digestive system, goes into your circulatory system, and eventually is absorbed in the place where it's needed. Kol Yisrael Arevim Zeh Bozeh. It tells the Rosh Hashiva says doesn't mean that we're responsible one for the other. That would be Kol Yisrael Arevim Zeh Lozeh. Kol Yisrael Arevim Zeh Bozeh means that we're all mixed together. We're all part of one organism. Kol Yisrael, we're all one neshama. So what affects one person affects another person too. And therefore, if there's a change in me, ultimately, indirectly, it's a change in you too.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org